Okay. So again, welcome everyone, and we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita was spoken in a battlefield about 5,000 years ago in the place called Kurukshetra, which is in north of India, and it was a fight of. It was basically a property fight between two cousins, Arjuna and Duryodhana. And there, Arjuna, with his five brothers, and Sri Krishna with a chariot had arrived at the battlefield, and they were about to fight. So all negotiations have failed before that. The Pandavas, they had reduced demand, their demand for their whole for their rightful kingdom. They said we don't want, because there will be a war and fight, and our own people will get killed. So they reduced it to five villages, but Duryodhan even rejected that. And then they had no other way but to fight it out. And therefore they collected large armies, and they arrived at a place called Kurukshetra to fight it out. So Arjuna had arrived with Krishna, and he told Krishna, "You take me in the middle of the battlefield. I want to see who all have come." And when he saw his family members, so when he saw his family members in front of him, he saw his grandfather, teacher, parents, not parents, but those who are of the age of his father, and maternal uncles, father-in-laws, same generation, his own cousins, friends, well-wishers, and sons, his own sons, and sons of his cousins, and his grandsons also. Like so, when he saw his whole family out there, but they were not on his side, they were on the opposite side. So this was not a friendly fight. It was not a fight where all of them are fighting for him. No, they were fighting against each other, with each other. So he started thinking, oh, here I will lose my own family members. And therefore, in the first chapter, we read a lot of arguments he presented, which we which we summarized last week. Um, he became compassionate because so many people are going to get killed. He was thinking of, if he gets the kingdom and nobody's there in the kingdom, what is the point in that enjoyment, right? Like I gave the example, COVID, coronavirus is going on, and many parents are dying, and children are in different cities. So when they come back to that place where the parents are living, now the parents are no more because they are dead. So what is the point of this whole big house and all that, right? So they think like this. So similarly, Arjuna was also thinking, I may win this war, but when I will sit on the throne, around me there will be no one, because everyone would have been killed. Then there's destruction of family. So he thought from the social perspective also, that families will be destroyed. The elders in the families will be destroyed. Who will take care of the youngsters? The elders generally um, teach the youngsters, about ethical, moral, religious principles. Now they are not there. The youngsters are free to do what they want, and they won't take to religiousness. So they won't take to ethical. They won't take to morality. So therefore, they will live a very uh, unethical life, and that will destroy the family. That will destroy the social structure, and that will destroy, even women, children, and old people. Women will be exploited, children won't be taken care of, and even old people won't be taken. So he thought from social perspective, and he was thinking, I don't want this royal happiness like a saint. And he was thinking, if I kill, I will get reactions. If you kill, some reaction will come. So he was having his indecision whether to fight or not to fight, and he decided not to fight, and he just sat there in the chariot with tears in his eyes. So we started with the second chapter, where we discussed last time that Arjuna with his mind depressed and full of tears in his eyes, he Krishna finally spoke. So he spoke to Krishna the first chapter. Now Krishna speaks to him, and the first thing we discussed was the Bhagwan. Bhagwan Uvacha, he said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy." So Sri Krishna is asking him that you are a fighter, right? And a fighter, if given an opportunity to fight a just war, he will take to that fighting. Like we generally discuss the example of police. If he sees, that a crime is taking place, and he should act. He should not say that, oh, the criminal is actually my brother, so I won't fight. I won't. I won't catch him. That is not allowed, right? So Krishna is asking the same thing. This is a just war, and why have these impurities come into you? Impurities means there's something unwanted thing come into you that you don't want to fight. You know the value of life, and after that, when you go to higher planets and all that, that won't happen. You will become infamous for not fighting. If a war happens, whether one thinks that he will lose or fight or win, the soldiers generally don't think like that. They think that this is an opportunity to fight. I will take it and I will fight. I'll fight to death, right? Just yesterday, another war started between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is very powerful, but Ukrainian soldiers, they know that they are powerful. The opponents is powerful, but they're ready to give their lives. Now, if they run away from the battle, then it will be infamy, right? So Sri Krishna is asking the same question to Arjuna. You are thinking of running away. That is an infamous act, coward act. That is not befitting for a fighter like you. Okay. So let's get into the third verse that we stopped at. Klaivam ma swagatam gamaha partha naitvat tvai upapadyate shudram hridaya durlabhyam tvakta tishtat parantapa. A very important word here is hridaya durlabhyam. We will see that. Translation: O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart, arise, and O chastiser of it. If there are any questions or comments, you can type it in the chat or you can interrupt me and speak. There is no problem. I will stop and answer. Okay. Any questions or any doubts or just even a comment that you want to make, that is also fine. So, few things here. Pritha. Pritha is the name of Arjuna's mother, Kunti. So she had another name, Pritha. So in the Vedic times, they would call, with different names. And like Kunti, Kaunteya, Bharata. Similarly, we are called like the Indians when we go outside, they call it Indians. When we are within India, they will call it Maharashtrian, Karnataka, So that just gives us a connection. So the communication is, through connection. So do not yield to this degrading importance. Importance means potent. Potent means there's some energy one may have, and importance means he doesn't have that energy. You are fully powerful, the fighter, So Sri Krishna is saying, you are fully powerful. So how come you have become without power? How come you have become without power? Give up such petty weakness of heart. So this is weakness of heart. So when the heart is weak, this doesn't mean the heart attack or something. Here, weakness of heart means uh, the resolution to fight, the resolution, the determination is weak. So Shri Krishna is saying your determination has become weak. Therefore, arise, O chastiser of enemy. Parantapa. You have always won battles. Parantapa. So he is telling Arjuna, you are son of Kunti, and Kunti is very pure person. And then you are Parantapa. Parantapa means you have overcome your enemies in the past. Now in Mahabharat story, in the past Arjuna has fought many wars and he has overcome many enemies. So Krishna is telling, you have won all the enemies in the past. Why are you thinking now you don't want to fight? So it is weak. That shows your weakness. We'll get into the purport. Arjuna was addressed as son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is Kshatriya in name only. And if a son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is Brahmana in name only. Right? If a fighter declines to fight, then he is just by name. He doesn't have that substance. We see sometimes, some police, they may not act on criminals. They will come late or something. So it's very difficult to trust on them, that such police and all that. So Krishna was reminding Arjuna, you don't have to become that. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their father. Therefore, Krishna didn't want Arjuna to become unworthy son of Kshatriya. We should be having some worth by performing our duty diligently, whether we fail in it or have success in it. If one performs his duty diligently, then he is worthy. Right? In Indian army, when they go after the terrorist, it is not that always the Indian army, is able to overcome the terrorist. Sometimes the terrorists kill few soldiers of Indian army, right? But still they are worthy because they went and they did their duty. They were trained to fight and they did that. So this is a lesson for us that whatever our duty may be, we may work in an office, we may be a father, mother, sister, brother, son, daughter, a citizen of a country, a citizen, a team member in a society, whatever we may be, there are some duties assigned to everything, right? We have a duty of working loyally and putting our whole heart into our work, right? To show the quality of that work. So when we do that, then we become worthy. So for us, we have to learn, we have to try to be worthy. In spite, whether we win it or we lose it, that is very important. Sometimes we become fearful, oh, I will lose it. But if we don't try, then we become infamous, right? There are many examples where where some person didn't try at all, and that became infamous. He became infamous for that. So Krishna didn't want Arjuna to go in that path. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna. So Krishna and Arjuna are actually friends. They are of almost equal age and they were born almost at the same time. So they were actually friends. But when it came with Krishna's relationship with Yudhishthir and Bhima, it was like elder and junior person. So Yudhishthir and Bhima, they are elder to Krishna. So when Krishna meets Yudhishthir and Bhima, it is friendly, but it is with respect that these are elders. So he would touch the feet. But when it came to Arjuna, it was friend. He wouldn't touch the feet of Arjuna. He would embrace it And Arjuna would also do the same thing. They would just embrace each other, just like friends, So they were intimate friends. Now, interesting thing about friendship in the Vedic times versus today's friendship, there are a lot of similarities, but there is one important thing is that the friendship in the Vedic times had a lot of respect for each other. Whereas in today's world, friendship this is more like what is it in for me? Like how do I benefit from having this friend or that friend? Or there is very less respect. Hmm? If a person advises something or something, then the other friend may not think that much, right? We see this happening. So from the Vedic times, we can understand that respect for the other person is also to be there in a friendship. A friendship is just not like joking and laughing, but there needs to be a respect also. So we see that Arjuna is in difficult situation and Krishna is his friend, and he turned to Krishna for advice. He turned to Krishna for advice. Let me see. Yeah. He turned to Krishna for advice. And that's how Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So we in our difficulty should turn to trusted and wise people. Then we will get good guidance. So just like in this war, Arjuna got good guidance by Bhagavad Gita, and after that he took up his bow and he fought the war, right? So he could do his duty. Similarly, we should also seek help in our difficult situations. This is very important. And seek help from whom? Who are wise and trusted and experienced, right? To them. Now it happens to be, if it is parent, it is parent. If it happens to be teacher, it teacher. It happens to be someone else, it happens to be someone else. But having these people in our life is very important. Okay. Krishna was directly guiding him on chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the ground of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relative. But Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. So a policeman may say, "Oh, I won't catch my brother because he's my elder brother." Even if he does crime, it's all okay. So that is actually weakness of heart. When we read newspapers, we see this. A minister doesn't catch his own family members, right? In the scam or something. This thing rarely happens. Once in long time, right? Because there is too much of attachment for our own family members and all that. So Arjuna was all thinking like that. He's my great grandfather. And I don't want to fight with him. How can I fight with such a big person? I cannot even think like that. But Krishna was saying, actually, that is weakness of heart. We have come here to fight it out, and they have also come here to fight it out. All negotiations have failed. So now what remains is we need to fight. What is your problem? Why are you so weak now? Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the guidance of Krishna. So magnanimity is to be done under circumstances. We cannot apply it everywhere. If a crime has happened, then we cannot be magnanimous. We have to catch the thief, whether the thief is our own brother, sister, whatever. We have to catch. But magnanimity on a less severe circumstance, yes, we can apply there. Okay. But for serious offenses, we have to be, considerate, practical. But for less offenses, we may think of something else. Like, like a mother. If the child does some mischief and breaks some pot or throws things here and there in the house, sometimes the mother, out of love, out of magnanimous nature, will say, okay, okay, fine. Sometimes she may shout, sometimes she may chastise. But now, if the child does the same thing in somebody else's house, in the neighbor's house, or in someone's guest's house, then what will the mother do? Then she will say, this is a serious offense. And she will make sure that the child is chastised for that. And the child understands that they cannot do this thing. It is unacceptable. So we need to know where to put the magnanimous nature. Where we can tolerate, it is okay, it is a less severe offense, fine. But when it is too big a thing, it just we need to take right actions. Okay. Any question, comment?
Nothing, Prabhu. One thing I wanted to mention here.
Sure.
I'm not quite sure. Like, I have listened before that also some Bhagavad Gita lectures also.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in overall Bhagavad Gita, I never heard that Krishna is actually taking help of the emotional statements. He is always given very practical statements. So which is very good, actually, which is very good to hear. I mean,
yeah.
Krishna would have said, Arjuna, you why you are not fighting? You just remember what the Duryodhana has done with Draupadi. He has tried to remove her clothes and also all these things he would have used, but he never used these kind of things.
Okay. Okay. You have brought a good point. So okay. So there is a emotional talk, and there is what you're telling is intellectual talk.
Yes, practical kind of intellectual.
Yeah, intellectual talk it is. Yeah. Now, why do you think Bhagavad Gita is mostly intellectual?
Well, intellectual. I feel like Krishna is not trying to actually, make him fight on the basis of emotional. Emotional points he wanted to present. Like, for example,
what do you think is the problem with this emotional thing? Emotions are important, right? What is the problem?
Emotional, because it basically shows, for the first thing, it shows that it's attachment to the materialistic things, because emotion is generally with the materialistic things, materialistic attachment, materialistic relationships. For example, emotion. Okay. So I'm not saying that you should not have emotion, right? But there is a difference when you should have emotion and when you should not have emotion. I mean, when you should present your emotion and you should not present your emotion.
Okay, sure. So then we have to make a decision. Then we have to use our intelligence.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But when we have to make action, then we have to use emotions. So now Arjuna, out of emotion, he was saying, but he did had some intellectual things in it, like intellectual arguments in it. Society will be a problem. So many people will die. What will happen to the woman? So he was intellectually thinking about it. Emotionally also he was thinking, oh, my own family members, what will happen to them? My grandfather, my teacher. We will see in this verse itself, he says this thing. So he was saying both the things, but Bhagavad Gita is mostly intellectual. Why? Because we have to make a decision. Arjuna had to make a decision. So for decision, we need intelligence. Okay, we need intelligence, and intelligence. The food for intelligence is, let's put it this way. We need intelligence, and it's this direction. The food is, what is the food for intelligence? It is knowledge. So therefore Bhagavad Gita is knowledge. There is theory in it, There is philosophy in it, like that. I'll put these words also. It's interesting. Philosophy. Okay. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita is mostly like this: knowledge, theory, philosophy. Hmm? Now, question is where to use emotion when there is affection. Affection. Uh, yeah, whatever is affection, like friendship, relationship. Actually, mostly in relationship. In relationship, we should not be using intelligence. We should be using emotions. Like, you say, um, I'm trying to get a good example. Let's take parent and child relationship. Hmm? Now, sometimes the children are mischievous. So, out of emotion, affection, the parents sometimes, forgive the child and they also play with them, right? So, there it is emotions. And if the child is mischievous in a different setting, I give this example in a different setting, in somebody's house, in a school or something, then you cannot go emotion, right? Oh, no, no, he's my child. He can do anything like that. Can we go like that? No. There we have to use our intelligence and we have to make sure our child is good mannered over there. So it depends on context and we need to think where we need to put affection and where we need intelligent decision making things like that. Yes. Uh, Gaurang Mudgal, right? You have a question? Yeah, yeah. Just ask a question.
I have one query that
Sure.
we are talking about emotion and intelligence, right?
Mm.
So, like our parents or the senior people who are, it can be our parents or in the senior people in our corporate world, they
Mhm.
try to make us emotional pressure on us.
Okay, okay. Got
So
it.
at that moment when we take in, we use our intelligence, right? That this is
Yeah,
right, this is wrong, and what we need to take. So
yeah.
at that moment when we take intelligence, because their intelligence is required, they are senior people. They're trying to make us emotional fool. So they want
Okay,
to do the things according to the society and the systems, right? But
okay.
the situation required is intelligence. So at
Right,
the moment we use our intelligence and we do which is good and which is correct at that moment for the things, it
right,
may be
right.
later for their parents, our parents or the seniors also. But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
my question is this: in this
yeah.
scenario, when we take intelligence, we use our intelligence, we internally, especially me and myself, feel very guilt at that moment that I am taking intelligent decision, but my
Hmm.
parents or my seniors get like they show us that we are not interested in you, you people are wrong. So how to cope up with that situation? Because I'm facing this challenge every time.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, this is a good question. And we will see. Um, okay, so yeah. So if somebody is emotionally blackmailing us, that is the question, right? What to do?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're emotionally blackmailing us. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, that situation comes. We had discussed that. Um, and that is done by Duryodhana. So in the first chapter, Duryodhana does this. He emotionally charges uh, Drona. So that is called as political talk. It is actually called political. So what happens is he where is he? Many people yeah, third one. This is Duryodhan speaking. He says, "O my teacher, behold the great army of son of Pandus, who expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple on the son of by the son of Drupada." So he's telling to Durona that your intelligent disciple, meaning your disciple, who is son of Drupada. Drupada is your enemy. His son, you taught him you taught him all the archery and fighting skills, and now he's standing in front of us, expertly arranging an army, not for us, but to fight with us and to defeat us. That time, if you had decided not to teach him, this situation wouldn't have come. So very emotionally is blackmailing Drona. So this happens in this thing also. Okay, so now coming back to your question, what to do in case of emotional blackmail?
Exactly,
Yeah,
because everywhere it happens.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
relationship, it's between your
yeah, yeah.
husband or
The
wife or
husband,
friend
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
family.
yeah. So, so like I said, Arjuna also is emotionally talking. So then we need to think from intelligence. What we need to think is, whether I am doing the right thing. This is like introspection. So let me put it this way: introspection. This is these are few points. We have to think. Introspection. We have to ask ourselves whether I'm doing the right thing. Then discussion. Not with the person who is blackmailing. Otherwise, it's a problem. So with
Sure.
discussion with wise and trusted people. And this, I will tell you, is never like somebody saying, I have like 500 trusted people. I will tell him you're completely wrong. Trusted people will only be, counted with your fingers only. That's it. So always remember that. And wise and trusted, wise means both. They have knowledge and they have experience, both. So we discuss with them whether whatever I'm doing, see, mostly, it's about what we do, and then people say, no, this is wrong, right? Whatever I am doing is right or wrong. Okay. What are the pros and cons? This is important question. Whether it is right, wrong, just let me finish and I'll take your question. And what are the pros and cons? Meaning, what if I do this activity, what will be the result? It will, so they will be able to tell, oh, if you do like this, then this will happen, that will happen. And then we will think, okay, if I do like this, then am I accepting the result? Like, let's say, we are investing in stock, and we know stock may tomorrow go up and down. But if we ask some trusted person, we say, I want to invest in this stock. They'll say, yeah, this looks good. 5 year down the line, this is there, but it's going to increase in, say, 2 years period. So then we have to decide, oh, 2 years is good for me or not. If am I ready to invest for 2 years, like that. So they will give the pros and cons things. Okay, introspection, discussion with wise and trusted people. And third thing is introspection, discussion, wise people. And third thing is I'm trying to get the right word. Okay, is the activity, whatever we want to do, right? Is the activity authorized? What I mean by authorized, or let's say bona fide, we can use various words: ethical, moral. Okay, what the law book says, this, it's a triangle. It's like the laws book should say. Then like we are readers of Bhagavad Gita. So what religious texts say? You say, and
Okay.
yeah, and what is the philosophy? Most important, what I'm trying to say is there a philosophy behind our activity? Or a very strong philosophy. So if three of these things, if we do, then we can save from blackmailing. Blackmailing will happen. Emotional blackmailing will happen. But introspection will tell whether I'm doing right or wrong. So within our heart, we know, oh, yes, this is the right thing to do. Then that will tell our determination. Second is discussion with wise and trusted people will tell, well, he's very trusted person and he gave a good backing to it. And he explained me the pros and cons. And third thing is that we have a philosophy religious law book to back it up. So then when there is emotional backing, right, we can use these arguments. We can use these two arguments, what the wise person said and what the authorized text is saying. Okay, and we can defend our decision. Now, I told we can defend, but sometimes blackmailing and this emotional blackmailing happen with very senior people, and we don't want to talk back or answer back or something like that. So that time we may not answer back, but we should have our arsenal ready. Okay, even if we don't respond, we have three things to us to back our activity, and that's how we remain determined. People sometimes know, yes, I am doing the right thing, but they don't know, oh, did any wise people, did I talk with any wise or trusted person? They have not done that. They don't know which philosophy, which law book, and which religious text support their activity. They don't know, so they don't know how to fight back. So then they fall down to that blackmailing, emotional blackmailing. So yeah, so Bhagavad Gita is three things. First thing is introspection, chapter 1 of Arjuna. He's introspecting whether I'm doing right or wrong. Second thing is discussing with Krishna. He's asking Krishna, you tell me. And then Krishna, he gives philosophy and he tells that this is from the Vedas, this is from the sadhus who have spoken previously, and he tells that so from this perspective, at the end, Arjuna is convinced, okay, I need to fight. Okay.
Yeah, get it.
Thank you. Harish, you had a question?
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, what I was asking is that here Krishna is the one person who has all the knowledge, right? But sometimes it might happen that the issue or the issue that we are discussing with the person, so he is given some comments, and then we come back and we take a look at the scriptures and all that, what they are saying. So there might be conflict that time.
There's a conflict.
So there might be conflict. So I think there should be an order with that. I mean the last two statements, discussing with the person first, or discussing with, or looking into the scripture first. So which one should come first?
Yeah.
I mean, which one we should give the priority?
Good question. So this three thing is called triangle. Now you tell me, where do we start in a triangle? We really cannot start from any point, right? Because so the answer is you have to cover all the three sides. When the order doesn't matter, but covering the 3 points matter. You understand? When we cover all the 3 points, then we can make a good decision. So just don't cover 2 things and not the third one. It's a triangle, right? So we have to cover all the points, the 3 sides of it, and then we can make a good decision. Understand?
Yes, Prabhu. But
yeah,
still here the thing is that after there is a conflict, then I have to decide it, and so I will decide on the basis of my knowledge. So,
right.
But as my knowledge is limited, then there's a possibility that I can make a wrong decision.
Yeah. So I was discussing with someone and I kept telling him this thing. You can have assumptions, but always verify it. So we may have some assumptions, we may have some knowledge, but we need to verify it. Now this person is trying to marry, and proposals are coming to him. Now he's having some assumptions, just looking at that proposal and some details. We need to verify it, and then he has some expectations, and then he's thinking, oh no, she may be doing like this, she may be doing like. I said, did she tell you? No. Then you better go and verify it. No? So whatever our assumptions be, like introspection does tell that. Introspection tells within our heart what is our determination, what is our understanding, belief, our belief structure, conviction. Yeah, conviction. Everyone has certain conviction, right? So that comes by this. But by other two things, we verify whether our conviction is right or wrong. You understanding?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So let's say we start with this. Okay, the philosophy, law book, religious text say this thing. We discuss with people. Okay, this particular activity, its experience, pros and cons are like this. Now we shape our introspection by these two inputs. Okay, I think I need to do this. This is my conviction. So previously our conviction was, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Then we go and ask these two wise people and law books and religious texts. And then we develop our conviction. But in some cases, we may have a certain conviction. And when we discuss with others, when we look at things, we can change that. Like I will tell you, I come from a non-vegetarian family, long time back. And when I read Bhagavad Gita and I got in contact with wise people, I came to know it's better to be vegetarian. So my previous conviction was non-vegetarian, but knowledge and law book told me that vegetarian is better. So I changed my conviction. So it's a triangle. We can start from somewhere, but if we complete the whole three sides of it, then we can better act. Okay.
Right, Prabhu.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It's a matter of practice. Okay. I may tell this in 2 minutes, but to practice this is it may take it may take some time, some effort. But knowing this thing is very important. And Bhagavad Gita is based on this. Introspection Arjuna is doing, knowledge, wiseness, Krishna is giving, and Krishna is pointing on the Vedas also. And he's telling what the previous sadhus have said. So all these three things are working in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Let's go further. Arjuna is saying 2.4. He's saying, Arjuna Vacha. Katham Bhishmans aham sankhe dronam sa madhusudana ishubi pratiyutsami pujar hava arisudana. Arjuna said, oh killer of enemies, oh killer of Madhu. So he's saying Krishna has killed a person named Madhu. He was a demonic person. So he's saying, you killed this demonic person. How can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are not demoniac? They are very good people who are worthy of my worship. They are worthy of my respect. They are seniors to me, they are authoritative to me, they are bona fide to me. How can I counteract? I mean, you killed enemies, but these are not at all my enemies. Bhishma and Drona, they are my grandfather and teacher. Who kills teacher? And who kills the grandfather? Why are you telling me like this, Krishna? So respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counteracted. Like I was talking, sometimes blackmailing, emotional blackmailing may happen from the seniors, right? So we may not be able to counteract. Arjuna is also telling me, how can I counteract? It is a general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. This is one point I made. It's an etiquette, okay, that we may not do verbal fight, but we can present our idea in a non-fighting attitude. Sometimes we can do that, and sometimes it is okay. Sometimes it works also. Agreed. Sometimes the same emotional blackmailing is happening by people, but they sometimes listen. The same father, the same mother, they sometimes listen to certain situations, and sometimes they are like completely adamant. They don't want to hear only. At that point, we cannot fight back. At that point, we have to be just quiet and we have to do our thing because we know it is right and we have verified it, our assumptions. So even if there is sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. This is an interesting point. In today's world, very our close ones are sometimes harsh in their behavior. Now, if we respond with the same harshness, it doesn't solve the issue. It's like responding fire with fire. We will get more fire. Anger begets anger. So if we respond calmly and coolly, then even if the harshness may not go, we will be happy that we did the right thing. It is important. Okay, then how is it possible for Arjuna to counteract them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasena? So he's asking Krishna, you will attack your grandfather Ugrasena or your teacher Sandipuni Muni? There were some of the arguments. These are some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna. We'll do one more. 2.5. Gurun hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktam vaiksham apiha loke hatvarth kamanstu gurun iheva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pratigdhan. It would be better to live in this world by begging than at the cost of lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gains, they are my superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. I would beg but not fight with my seniors. I would if I kill them, then my hands will be full of blood. So he's telling very strong things which are true. According to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense in discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Now, if a teacher becomes very harsh with a student and physically abuses them, today in today's world, there is physical abuse, emotional abuse, and deadly sexual abuse. If a teacher does that, or if a parent does that, or if somebody relative does that, then it's a criminal activity, even according to Indian law. It's a criminal activity. So even scriptural codes say that they have to be abandoned. They have to be given up. The association should be given up. No need to stay with them. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhan because of his financial assistance. So why Bhishma and Drona were together with Duryodhan? Because of financial assistance. Because they were taken care by Duryodhan. He was the king. No? He was the son of the king, and they were getting their salaries. So they thought that we will fight with Duryodhan only. Although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial considerations. So on the consideration of truth, on the consideration of justice, they should have accepted that here there is injustice happening. But what happened is, oh, because they're taking care of me, I will fight for them. So Bhishma and Drona sided with Duryodhana in the war. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. So because of this thing, that they sided with injustice, they lost their respect. But still Arjuna was thinking of giving them respect. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain this superior, which is true. And therefore, to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. So, and therefore, killing them would be not appropriate. This is what Arjuna is thinking. Now, in spite of this argument, because they have sided the injustice, they have to be punished. Right? We'll come back to our same thing. If a policeman sees that his own relative, let's say father, grandfather, teacher, is committing a crime, he has to go and arrest. He has to do the impossible thing for him. Right? So that's what Krishna is going to say to Arjuna. न चैता विद्महे कतरन्न गरियो यद्वा जयेमा यदि वा मान जयेयो यन्नेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामास ते वस्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्रः. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are standing before us on the battlefield. What is this? 6, right? Okay. So this is these 3 verses 6, 7, 8 are showing indecision. Indecision means he cannot decide now what to do. He's saying which is better. Now he went from introspection to discussion with the wise. What are the pros and cons? He's asking whether this is right or wrong. So initially he showed his conviction, right? This is what I feel, Krishna. killing my seniors, I don't think is right. There's social economic results of it. Ukraine, 137 people died within one day of the war. What will happen to their children? What will happen to their wives? What will happen to their families? So he's thinking from that introspection, he's telling that conviction, but now he's discussing, is this right or wrong? What are the pros and cons of it? And then Krishna is going to reply back philosophy, what the law book says, what the religious text says, what are the sadhus, previous sages they are telling, what is really ethical, moral, bona fide, authorized. He's going to reply that. So you see, Arjuna is going to the same perspective. Now he's asking, which is better, being conquered or being conquered by them? And then next he's going to ask, I am confused. I don't know what I should do. I become your disciple. I become your student. Tell me. And he says, I can find no means to drive away this grief. I don't know what to do. I'm just confused. I'm like, I just don't know what to do. We hear, right? People saying like this. So like that he's saying, I'm not able to dispel this. I cannot resolve this. Help me. So basically he's saying, help me. Yeah. Okay. How many minutes we have? Like 6. Okay. Let's see if we can finish this. Arjuna did not know whether he should fight or risk unnecessary violence. Although fighting is his duty. Okay. Why he says, I don't know what is better. And the next 2 verses. The reason is he knows his duty. See, a policeman may avoid catching the criminal, but he still knows his duty, right? I need to catch. I need to catch. Behind the mind, that law book is telling him, hey, he's doing a crime, so you need to go and catch him. Even if he's your brother, even if he's your father, you need to catch. So Arjuna is also going through the same thing. Injustice is done to you. This is injustice. The evil Duryodhan, he tried to kill you. He tried to, take your kingdom out of through some cunning way. And then now he's not ready to give it back. You reduced your demand, still he's not giving back. So you need to punish him now. He knew this. This is my duty. As a king, as an administrator, he knows. So therefore, fighting is his duty of Kshatriyas, whether he should refrain or live by begging. But he's still thinking, I will beg. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Now nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in the battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. I'll go through this certain parts, but let's finish this. Under the circumstances, there would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely prove that not only he was a great devotee of the Lord, but he was highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in a royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are under control, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in these attributes over and above enormous attributes in his material relationship. So, seeing that Arjuna is thinking from various points, from various angles, that shows that he is really intelligent. Okay, so that is something we need to imbibe in ourselves. We need to think from various angles the same thing. We have to see it at the different angles, and then seek help from wise, trusted people and from the scriptures, from the law book also. So that all will make us fit candidate to make the right decision. Okay, so for Arjuna, he was thinking my family members will die. He was thinking my family members will die. So there is no point in enjoying, right? Because all my kingdom will be empty. At the same time, he knew I have to fight. I cannot refrain from fighting. So from both sides he was thinking. And therefore he had a soft heart even for his enemies. He was quite fit for liberation. He was quite fit to get this knowledge. So here is a key from Bhagavad Gita, is that to receive this knowledge, to understand this knowledge, we need to have a soft heart also. We need to have a intelligence also, to think in various angles. All this is required to receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Now I'll tell you something. If somebody has a very hard heart and he takes to Bhagavad Gita or he takes to any religious scriptures, his conclusion will always be destruction. And we see the terrorists, they take a particular religion and they say this religion is telling we should kill everybody. And therefore they're going and killing indiscriminately. Because their heart is not soft. They are not at all introspective. They are just using the conviction and they're thinking that yes, I am right. And then they use the pretext of a religious scripture to fight. But look at Arjuna. He's thinking from various angles. And that's what makes him fit for this knowledge. Okay. So let's open up for some questions or comments if you have. Yeah, I cannot hear you, Arish. Yeah, okay. No, I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah, now I can hear. Yeah.
What I was saying is like.
Yes.
What you just now said, like that introspect and discuss with others, so and read about the scriptures and try to verify this. So these things, I think these kind of things also applies to our corporate life also.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever there is a problem comes, then
Okay.
you should.
Good thing. Good thing is. Yeah. Tell me.
So you should introspect the problem, that this is what we can do, this is how you can do, this is the solution, this might be a solution, but with this solution this might problem go. So then you should reach out to some senior person who has experience. That's what we in general do, right? To help out and discuss your solution.
Right.
Then there is a currently existing solution. You take a look, which I mean, for here this read this about the scripture. So yeah, so this kind of thing we follow in the I mean, this kind of solution we can apply on our corporate life also.
Yes.
So that this is a
actually we do, right?
Yes.
I work in hardware, so I'm a verification engineer, and there's a designer, and then we have the specification. Now I test the design. I say here is the bug, here is the issue. The designer says no, it is all right. Then how do we resolve? We take help of the specification and we say, here the specification is saying this thing, 1 + 1 is 2, but whereas your design is doing 1 + 1 3. And then he will say okay. But if he doesn't agree, then what we do? We go to the architect and we tell the architect, here this is what I am doing and this is what he's testing, and he's saying I'm wrong, but I think I'm not wrong. And the architect will give a wise answer. He will say, well, it should be like this. This is what I thought about it. This is the functionality that I thought about. Is it going that way? And then the designer said, no, I didn't think about it. That's a corner case. And then he'll go and code it. Right? This is what happens in our corporate world. So the same three triangle thing happens even in our corporate circle. We should do the same thing in our personal life. And for spirituality also, we should do the same. Good point, Harish. Yeah. Any more question, comment?
Nothing from my.
Okay. So it's 2 p.m. Let's meet next week and we'll continue from this thing with 2.7. We'll continue. And I will upload the recording on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank